Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to a safe space for Depravity podcast. I am Wellington Boyce.
And I'm Quinn Lemieux.
How's it going, man?
I'm chilling, dude. You know, just getting in the podcast game and trying to sort all this stuff out.
Yeah, no, not gonna lie. Like I I had to get the energy to do it today. Like I was looking forward to it all week, and then today came, and I was just like, damn. I would really love to just not do shit, but I do have to do some things. So hold myself accountable.
Consistency, baby.
Hey, you right. But how's your week been?
Chilling, dude. You know, another one. Going to work and exchanging some time for money. You know how that goes.
Yeah, no, I feel that because currently I'm not even getting time for money. I worked 3 hours today, so that shit was ass.
Love it.
But yeah, no. So yesterday was Ash Wednesday, right? Speaking of work,
yes.
My mom was trying to make it a point for me to go to church because it's Ash Wednesday. And for the folks at home that don't know, I was raised Catholic. My mom is a New York full-on Catholic, so devout.
Devout.
So is it devout?
It's devout.
My bad, but devout Catholic.
You know, like get out, devote.
Yeah, I was gonna say devout or die. But yeah, so she was like, you need to go to church. You have no reason. You get off work early in the morning. You can go to the first mass or second mass and all this stuff. And I'm just like, okay, all right. Mind you, have not been to church in solid 5, 6, 7 years or so.
Here's a question. Have you gone to the church more recently than you have been to the dentist or for a checkup at the doctor?
Okay, so does getting COVID testing count?
Does not count as a doctor's visit.
Oh, I went to the dentist when I moved back from California, so I've been there. I've been there in at least a good time frame. Church, maybe not so much. No, I don't think I've been. I've found every excuse not to go to church, even on Ash Wednesday.
Two things that fall off after you turn 18 are doctor's visits and religious ceremony.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing. I was at work and I was like, I mentioned it yesterday. I was like, yeah, today's Ash Wednesday, and niggas are looking at me crazy, like, what's that? And I'm like, oh God, I'm in the South. There's like the population of Catholics in the South are just super low.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, oh, is that I was like, Easter, Lent, all that. They're like, oh, yeah. And so I'm explaining the whole 40 days, 40 nights with Jesus.
We got different dances we do when we're Catholic.
But it's all for the same reason.
Yeah, it's all the same reason. You know, like some people have a feast to celebrate Easter. Like if you're in Louisiana or like oh man, what's it called? I know there's like Fat Tuesday, but that's associated with some Christian thing. Louisiana. So like no, but I don't know what the Christian. Oh, it's the day before Lent. Oh, it's the day, it's the day before Lent. So that's Tuesday. Why. Okay, right. So
Ash Wednesday.
Right. So yeah, it's like yeah. So you do that little dance in Louisiana, and then if you're up north, then on Wednesday you go and get marks put on your head, and they're like, that sounds strange, and it's like, oh, it is. It's just.
It is. And and you're supposed to walk around with it? Yes, absolutely. Now, see, going to Catholic school pretty much majority of my life, it was okay because everybody had ashes on their forehead. But then for the little time that I went to public school and I went to Ash Wednesday, it was like 2 years straight, I came in with some ashes on my forehead and people were like, you got dirt on your forehead. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Catholic. I celebrate. It's like a Jewish kid walking into the South with a yarmulke, or just not showing up one day to school. Like, oh, why isn't so and so not here? He's Jewish. What the fuck does that mean? It's Yom Kippur.
It's Rosh Hashanah. And some kid in the back's like, bless you. Like, what? Like, yo, hey, show a little respect.
But yeah, so anyways, I told my mom, I was like, you know what? I don't feel safe going because COVID. And she kind of just accepted it. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Because she would have put up a fight 3 or 4 years ago, which brings me back to one time where I was visiting home, and it was around March time or whatever time Ash Wednesday usually falls on. And I came home, and she's just like, I need you to go to church and all this stuff to do the ashes and all that. I drove up. I was going to the gym. She's like, before you even go to the gym, go to church and get your ashes. I go to the church parking lot, and I just sit there. I just sit there because I'm like, I'm not going in. I'm not even dressed for this. And I found like a napkin, and I somehow had a lighter in my car, burned a little bit, burned the napkin a little bit. I don't know if this is sacrilegious or not, but I put some ashes from the napkin on my forehead to make it look like I went. But then by the time I got out of the gym, I already sweated it off. And she's like, did you go? I'm like, yeah, I went. Duh. And she's like, what was the sermon? Which is funny because I learned a trick. For all you people that have religious parents, specifically Catholic parents, they usually have the gospel of the day on their websites. And I learned this tidbit in college because my mom would try to make me go to school from 4 hours away, or make me go to church from 4 hours away. And she was like, well, what did the priest talk about? Just go on the website to the church, look up the sermon or the gospel of the day, and just say it back to her. And she's like, oh, okay, you went. And I hope she doesn't ever listen to this.
I would really love to point out that there is a competing podcast somewhere else that is giving tips and tricks to if you can't make it to church on Sunday, and that exact fact is also in there as a way that you can participate in church without going to church if you happen to be busy on a Sunday. So everything that you just said of like, would you believe that the sermon is right on the website, so you can get the words of the Lord anywhere? And they're like,
some people were like, oh my God, thank God! Like I thought I was gonna have to miss it, but I could still get the word of the Lord. Me, life hack to avoid and evade going because I don't care for the process.
Yo, can you? Here's a funny thing, especially about the Gospels. And I don't know how this turned into Christian Hour, but now we're in it. So the funny thing about the Gospels is like I imagine again, just a situation in which, you know, somebody is like getting into Christianity or whatever. And they're like, yo, we've heard the same 4 books this entire year. And then like, there's just somebody in the back like, no, this is a good one. I've seen this one. I've seen this episode before. It's pretty good. Wait till he gets to the end.
That's all it is. That's literally all church is. If you've gone to church at least for 6 straight years, you are going to hear multiple repeats because it's how the priest feels and what he hears from the diocese of like, this is what the word we're going to spread today. So pick a certain thing from the gospel to preach about. And of course it all comes to like not a eulogy, the way they portray what they've just read. Yeah. And they all have their own little like quips and stuff like that to make it fun and interesting. But nigga, I heard this.
You know,
I done seen this before.
You know what's funny is honestly, like being the pastor of a church is kind of the same thing as like those like 3 editors, 1 clip things on YouTube, or like three beat maker or 3 producers, 1 sample. Like It's just like, all right, we're going to talk about fishes and loaves today. It's like, all right, this is my spin on the fishes and loaves story from my diocese. And it's just like some long story about, Aunt Judy who couldn't feed her kids, but like made it work through the power of the Lord. And I'm not bagging on religion. I just think it's funny. Like the creativity comes from exactly the same, like 2,000 and 2,500 words. And then just how you spin them into a story in modern time.
Yeah. It's just like, oh shit, I've heard this sample before, but where have I heard it? It's pretty much what it comes down to. It's like how
he starts off and you're like, yo, I think this is the beginning of Matthew 2:5. Wait, you hear that? No. This is
no. Listen.
ding 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 ding. Yep, yeah. I've heard that before. That's 1998's Mobb Deep.
Could you imagine if like church sermons were like how record labels and certain shit like that, like where it's like Ice Tea or Vanilla Ice came out with whatever, what was the song called? Ice Ice Baby. Yeah, that one.
That's Vanilla. Yeah, Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Yeah, Ice Ice Baby, and then
Ice Tea singing Ice Ice Baby.
But then like another priest hears their same sermon and he's like, "Yo, I'ma sue that nigga." Because it's like, no. My sermon went like dun 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 ting. Yours goes dun 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 dun.
No. Here's the next part. And again, I don't want to harp on this for too long, but here's the next part. You start at a church, go through, do sermons for 6 years. You have to go to a new church, but the last church owns your masters. So it's like I'd love to tell.
I'm sorry, Father. You can't perform this sermon at any other church.
Or
stay with us.
You can perform this sermon, but 20% of the donations in the basket go to the last church that you were at.
I'll do you one bigger. They have to completely change their priest name. It's like, oh, Father Tom. No, that name belongs to us. You have to go go somewhere else and be Father Pete. You know what? I'm gonna create my own church and I'm gonna keep my own masters.
I think we may
just completely be Prince in a church.
I think we may have just explained why there are so many branches of Christianity in a very simple and easy to break down format.
Absolutely.
Why are there Episcopalian, Methodist, Baptist? Somebody else.
We're
masters.
We're all the same. We're all the same, but not. We're different. Oh, you guys believe that's the actual blood and body of Jesus? No.
Yeah.
No one said that. I mean, yeah, they have.
Well, yeah, they have.
They have, but it's not like this magic trick. I mean,
yeah.
Never mind.
Well,
they think.
Well, yes and no.
Well, yes and no. It's just blessed, and it is taken in as the holiness of the body and blood of Christ.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
Yeah. If you went to a Catholic high school, the definition for transubstantiation, which is what he just talked about, will be burned into your brain until you're 80 for the rest of your life.
And that's the thing. Like, I can talk to another Christian person, whether they're Episcopalian and all that nonsense. It's just the idea of Catholics are so borderline, like, I don't want to say
hardcore.
They're just over the top. The idea of Catholicism is so over the top to other Christians. It's wild. And it's like, no. Because you know what? You wouldn't guess that I was raised this way because I'm the worst person.
But on that.
But then again.
Yeah. But on the same note though, that whole like mentality, especially when you're growing up, like gets you into a place where you're like, maybe briefly, but for a moment, it takes you to a place where you're like, okay, let me try and seek out more things that can encourage my faith. And that leads to your type of music. And in the mid-2000s, you really start getting into, and I don't know if this was just a when we grew up type of thing, but I feel like the mid-2000s were a very specific era in music where everybody was kind of low-key Christian. Like,
yeah, there was bands you didn't know that were Christian until years later, like Evanescence.
Yeah.
Like that, Wake Me Up, That is one of the most like hardcore metal songs of that time. Nigga, that's about Jesus.
Yep.
And God.
Yep. Great example.
Save Me, keyword, save me, Flyleaf, another Christian band. Yep. I thought they were emo as shit. Yep. She's like, I can feel you all. Yeah, that makes me, that's dope. Yeah. But she's talking about the presence of the Lord. Yeah. Holy shit. What?
yeah, absolutely insane. And then you use that same thing to just justify whatever you're listening to your parents. Like Evanescence comes on the radio, nobody's mom wants to listen to Evanescence. You're like, no, this one's about God. You need to hear the word of the Lord.
Listen, Mom. I don't mean to preach to you, but you need this song in your life.
Right.
She is preaching about the presence of God around you. Do you hear me again? I will say it again, Mom. The presence of God is around you. She can feel him all around her.
So when I was in high school, also coincidentally when you were in high school,
at the same
time, we had pump up music for basketball. And when this was going on, of course, we wanted the popular songs, which back then were, a little band that nobody's heard of anymore called Roscoe Dash, who has since fell from whatever relevancy there once was, and Travis Porter, another.
Okay, now, ladies.
Yeah. So those are some of those bands, and so we used to cut our own CDs. And we would put those songs on them, but then we had somebody that...
Did you just say cut our own CDs?
Whatever.
You know the term. Burn.
We used to burn our own CDs. And so...
used to burn. You don't burn, bro? Dude, I burn. I totally burn.
So we used to do that, but we wouldn't have the actual edited things because we didn't listen to edited music. So we had somebody that used to edit out the words for us, and then we would hand that to the administration. They'd scan it and say, well, we still know what they're talking about, which then led us to saying, okay, well, if that's going to be the case, why don't we try and find some dope Christian rappers? Which brings me to Lecrae. And I really admire everything that Lecrae has done with his career, and I think it's fantastic. And he set out with a goal in mind and became popular selling Christian rap. Fantastic. Now, I put his bangers on a CD and handed it to the administration, which also needed me to print out the lyrics to those same songs. Now, Lecrae has completely clean music, but there are some aspects of his music where he may stomp on Satan from time to time. And the administration took issue with that. And at that point, I realized that none of the rules matter. And it's all made up. Because what sense does that make if the battle of good and evil is being talked about and you're talking about God stomping out the devil, and that has been deemed too extreme for the Christian school that you are attending?
What are you really about?
What
Christian Catholic schools?
What are we doing here?
If it's too much to talk about exterminating the devil, okay. But that's like who sings Shout at the Devil? Motley Crue?
Yes.
Which is I guess they say that it's not about actually being with the devil. It's just like yell at the devil, like just shout at the devil, like. Well, but it was deemed satanic. You guys are talking about Satan, but we're not talking about being with Satan. We're not chilling with Satan. We're yelling at him.
I was under the impression that I was being molded to be a soldier in God's army, and if that's not the case, then what are we doing?
I am like the Archangel Michael. I carry my flaming sword to dismantle Lucifer.
Now, I'm not going to name any names, but my teacher over there told me about a children's crusade, and and I was told that maybe one day it would rise again and I could be a part of that. So if that's not what we do here, then I may need to reevaluate my participation in this specific community.
I'm requesting a trade because obviously you guys aren't about that life, and I'm here to expedite all evil.
We'll take in the first pick of the 2020 Church League draft, the Trinity Methodists select Quinn Lemieux, forward out of Father Lopez High School.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be here. Praise be. What won't he do? I don't know why I went with Shaq in that voice as your voice. I just want to say, what won't he do?
One other thing while we're on the Christian music kick that I wanted to bring up was I remember again going through this phase and having Under Oath on that specific Christian train.
Oh my God, they were
who happened to be from Orlando, which is near where we grew up, and I just remember bumping that music and just being like, "This." Oh,
they were so hard.
They're still hard, but
yeah.
I was just like, "Whoa!" Like this is all the opportunities that Christian music can afford the youth.
That's so wild. Like it was just, there's so many artists out there that were like Christian, and it was uncool to listen to it in middle school. I guess in my middle school, where if you were listening to Christian music in a Catholic school, that's fucking lame. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't listen to that, but you do. Flyleaf, Evanescence, Under Oath, one of the biggest. Relient K. Oh my God, yeah,
Sadie
like
Hawkins
Reliant. We didn't have that. I feel like Sadie Hawkins dance.
No, we all missed out. We all missed out on that experience because I think that would have been the greatest thing for a man's confidence at that age.
The closest thing to a Sadie Hawkins dance I ever received was downloading Bumble. Like, that is it. And girl had to hit me up first. And cool.
And you know exactly how much trauma you carry depending on how you receive that first message. Because if that first message comes through and you're just like, well, this happened to me before, so I'm just not going to answer. Yeah. Then you know that you've just dealt with too much and you need to log off for a little bit and get your priorities straight. As soon as that thought hits you once, it's just time to quit social dating apps for just like a minute and just recalibrate everything that's going on.
But speaking of dating and old middle school music, recently I was scrolling on stories on Instagram and I came across someone's story because I just kind of let them run. I don't really pay attention to whose they are. And I came across one and it was a live show of Buck Cherry. And I don't know if anybody knows who Buck Cherry is that's born after 1990. But they're all right. The lead singer, he's in the movie New Guy. I remember that. He was in New Guy and he was like one of the prison mates, but it's okay. They got one song that everybody's heard. Crazy Bitch.
It's specific generic rock.
It's very specific on the toting line of like your Nickelbacks and whatnot, because it is just that sound, that early grungy, not grungy.
It's post. It's post. Yeah, it's post grungy music where it's like they stopped screaming and decided to play a little quieter.
You're like, I love Kurt Cobain, but I'm not going to sound like him, and I'm going to sound a little more nasally like a country singer, but it's going to be heavy with distortion on guitars and bass and everything else. So it's not really country music.
Just laying back on a couch with a camera pointing at them for an interview, just like ripping a dart, and then just being like, they opened the door and all we can do is walk through it. And you're just like, buddy, like, what are you talking about at all?
But anyways, so I see who's at this Buck Cherry show in the middle of a pandemic. Gonna tell you right now, not that important to see them live. It's my ex. And immediately my first thought was, holy shit, I was in an abusive relationship and didn't even know. Because only people that go to Buck Cherry shows are the kind of people that wear wife beaters in a trailer park.
I need you right now to qualify that statement of I was in a abusive relationship. Do not let
I said
do
I
not
was in an
let-
abusive relationship without knowing because I wasn't abused.
There we go.
There it
I needed that one qualified.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
I was not abused. I just didn't know that this was her deal. This is her thing. Is Buck Cherry.
And what just so we get this whole line straightened out. There was nothing abusive about the situation. However, if you were to set up a profile and look at a Venn diagram, Buck Cherry shares a point between these two parties of people.
I just think of like Buck Cherry's demographic. I just think of cops with sleeve tattoos, construction workers that literally wear clothes.
Southern construction workers.
Construction workers that wear their construction worker clothes on their days off. That is Buck Cherry's demographic to me. Also, just another disclaimer, specifically white.
Okay, wait. I also want to put one more disclaimer in there. Non-union workers. Because any union construction worker listens to Billy Joel and Bon Jovi in their off time. so this is a construction worker that's never worked for a union, but they do own a pair of boots.
They're just like on the outside, like conducting everything. They don't really get their hands dirty. I'm talking about the niggas that get their hands dirty, that got dirt under their fingernails and paint on their their Wrangler jeans.
The working man.
Just the typical white collared man. I want to get in my old Ford Bronco. That's got a different.
Now I'm gonna sit here in front about Buck Cherry, and I think you're right on a lot of accounts about Buck Cherry, but I will come clean in front of God and all his disciples, and I will talk about a band called Hinder.
Fuck you. Immediately, fuck you.
Yeah.
Just fuck you.
So Hinder was a band that used to sing this song called Lips of an Angel.
No one needs an explanation about Hinder because Hinder just didn't matter. Hinder did not matter.
So they put out this.
Honey, why you calling me so late?
Yeah. So I remember hearing this song sitting on my dad's couch, watching VH1 Countdown, and back when that was still a thing. And I remember thinking to myself, this will be the return of rock music. And there have been a lot of things that I've said that have been false, but none so much as that statement specifically about how unbelievably untalented I would be as an A&R for a rock company. That is by far the worst prediction that I have ever made in my entire life, bar none.
See, you've got certain bands that fall in that category, like Hinder and Buck Cherry and Uncle Kracker. Like those people that listen to that like religiously and not ironically, I don't want to fuck with. I want to go out of my way with not fucking with those people. So you admitting that shit, bro, I'm like at 10% of not want to fuck with you.
Now, I want to say that I have not listened to any other Hinder song until today in preparation for this podcast because I knew that this was going to come up.
What other songs do they have other than Lips of an Angel?
So I listened to
I don't want to hear your voice screaming my name and it sounds so sweet.
So I listened to their first album today. The whole thing. And I again will go on record as saying that they are just as terrible as anyone should have suspected. But
absolutely.
With that being said, they are, and if anybody has seen The Sopranos, they are the band from The Sopranos.
Did I pass it already?
The band that Adriana was managing.
Oh, yeah. That's them?
No, but it is. Like, it's the same thing where it's like they started off doing something and then they were like, one day they're like, we're just going to go softer. Because their first album is just
go ahead and grab your H and shoot up. because we need to record this fucking album right now.
Yeah.
I put a lot of money invested in this. You know what, man? You just need to chill out. I'm going to AA.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it is, because I listened to their first album and it sounds like nothing like Lips of an Angel. And I think what happened was they found and looked at another band's success, because the timelines matched up, because I checked this as well. The timelines match up where Hinder started and then Nickelback got popular. And they followed the same exact formula where their first album was kind of like whatever, and then they found some little sweet spot where it was like, well, this is rock, but it's like all and it's a little bit different. And now comes the point where I make my other outlandish statement, which is that Nickelback is overhated.
Yes, absolutely. The ridicule that Nickelback got, Hinder deserved. But Hinder wasn't popular enough to get it.
Right. And so I had a big day today. So I went back and I looked at the first Nickelback album, which is like 96-ish. And you can very much tell this is the end of whatever grunge, Nirvana, Pearl Jam thing was going on. And like, this is going to be the next way that we do this. But it sounds like, and I don't want to like get really weird about this, but you're like, I hear that and I hear a Nirvana deep cut, but it's not very good. Like that was my thought listening to those old albums. And then you fast forward to 2004 and an album called The Long Road, which is which has a couple just bops on it. I really don't know what else to say.
Is this the one with Someday?
Yes.
Bro, love that song. If anybody comes at me saying that I love a Nickelback song, fucking square up. I will send you my locations, because you know what? Nickelback wasn't that bad.
No. They have bops. They have bops, and
absolutely.
And to be fair, they had bops, and then what happened was they put out the album after the one I'm talking about. After The Long Road is the one with Photograph and like all the really really more well-known stuff that they get clowned on. But I do think that they are they're just a victim of their own success. And then eventually they get into acoustic stuff. But again, call me a Nickelback fanboy, but I really just think it's like, hey, we're old and we don't want to play the music that we played when we were 20 anymore.
No, absolutely.
So you know what? I'll take all hate comments at Quinn Tweets on Twitter. Feel free to at me and we can go over this. But I will say it's indisputable that they had hits, and it is also indisputable that somewhere Chad Kroeger is sitting in a mansion because of those hits.
Absolutely.
And if they got,
you know what? You can't knock the hustle. And also, he did good. But in 2011, someone got on Tumblr and made it a meme to hate Nickelback, and it was super undeserved. And I will be the first to argue that. It was cool to hate them, and it's still cool to hate them, but I think some people are realizing they're not bad.
Yeah, I do. Before I get into this, because I was very much one of those people, and I will tell you the exact moment that it changed was watching the Hot Ones interview with John Mayer. Was the moment where he talked about this exact same thing. And I was like, I will hear him out and trust his music opinion. Every other opinion he has, I will not trust. But this one specifically, I will look into. And he was right, because I do. And granted, some of that nostalgia is built into whatever video game they got featured on in the turn of the early 2000s that I was like, ooh, I remember doing a backflip to this song. So I will give a little bit of credit to John Mayer for this, while disdaining him as a human being. But that is one of those specific things that I do have to give credit to somebody else opening my eyes to.
I just kind of also want to venture into like where we've named these bands. Like, where did they just sit down and come up with these names? Nickelback? Okay.
Yep.
That's a football position, is it not? Oh, Buck Cherry? Oh, I get it. It's like Chuck Berry. It's like, Why? I don't know. So I
think-
thought.
So wait, do you have okay? I think you have some favorite ones, but I want to talk about one of mine, and this also goes back to the Christian rock thing. There was a band called Family Force 5 that used to do screamo Christian rap or screamo Christian music, and I really
forgot they were too.
yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason I really like that name, and then I'm trying to think, like, there's
Devil Wears Prada.
you know, again, very much a copy of Fall Out Boy. I think is a great one. And one anecdote about that whole situation that I've always found hilarious is that Fox, or excuse me, in The Simpsons, they have a comic book character whose name is Radioactive Man, and then his sidekick's name is Fall Out Boy, and Simpsons is owned by Fox, and if you've ever seen the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other, Fall Out Boy and Fox had a situation where they both looked at each other and were like, you or me or who? And then it just went away. Like they just both turned around and said, "No, fuck it. No, we're not dealing with this. We're not gonna. I don't want to go to court.
We're not gonna be messy.
Yeah. We're just walking away from this.
Y'all do you. We're gonna continue doing our shit.
He's in like 16 episodes out of 485. So just go back to making new music about kids in Darfur or whatever they're up to now.
But so yeah, I want to venture into metal band names because I love how aggressive a lot of them come out to be. Like, I don't know, one name comes in particular to mind. It's called Shit Pusher.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like, would you go see Shit Pusher tonight at the auditorium? Shit Pusher, like
featuring Cannibal Corpse. Yeah. Ew. This is gonna be a messy one. I can tell you that right now. I'm gonna bring my poncho.
Also on the lineup, Callous Bear Claw.
I don't think they do that.
Headlining August Burns Red. Wait, that's a real band.
Excuse me.
Wait, but so to go into the first band name, Shit Pusher, this is completely off subject, but like other night I ate some crazy Korean barbecue.
Why?
It was
this is the second episode in a row I've had to hear about bowel movements.
It's not that bad, but I was just saying, like, you ever just be on the toilet and you're going and it's just really hard. And you just wonder, oh, am I prolapsing right now? I'm sorry. Sometimes life is hard, Quinn, and sometimes shit is hard. And I just want to ask if I'm alone on that.
I'm going to ask this question immediately in response to this of like, is this a band you're interested in joining for the inevitable stool softener deal that they get?
Bro, that'd be wild. That would be a great investment to have a band called Shit Pusher and
sponsored by X-Lax.
Yeah, promoted by like high fibered shit. Not literally, but like literally, but also talking in like brand names.
A concert featuring Shit Pusher, brought to you by Metamucil.
Shit Pusher, sponsored by Rockstar. Rockstar energy drink. Can't listen to Shit Pusher without a Rockstar.
Coincidentally, Shit Pusher not having one Rockstar on the roster.
Oh, whoa.
Any Shit Pusher stands again, right to the DMs. I will direct you right to my DMs, please.
Shit Pusher. Hey guys, we're about to open up with our brand new song called Brenda's Fetus, or Bernadette's Fetus.
I was gonna say, I think that's a Tupac.
That's why I had to change it to Bernadette's Fetus. Also, why would anybody name their child Bernadette?
So it's a name again. I just I want to relate this in a way that makes any amount of sense, again, of looking at a child that small and thinking, I will see her when she's 80 and name her accordingly.
Like, oh yeah, she's got at least 50 years before she can actually deal with this name appropriately.
Yes.
Like, oh hey, I'm 2. I'm in the or like I'm 2 years old. What's your name? Oh, my name is Bernadette. What? I'm Bernadette.
I don't know. I don't know why you gave her.
Old.
I don't know why you gave her a speech impediment.
She's 2. A lot of 2-year-olds have speech impediments.
The Bernadette. It works. It works specifically. Like Bernadette will be shitting her pants at 2 points in her at 2 points in her age, and those are the times when her name is the most fitting. Also,
you go.
Another one that falls underneath that same category is one that I found specifically, and I'm very ashamed to say that humans name each other this because I feel like it's a very horse-themed name, Bessie. Yeah. That's not one for people.
You name your cow that.
Right? Like
you name livestock Bessie.
Right. And I mean no disrespect to anybody named Bessie, but I also just feel like
nigga, I don't think any Bessies listen to this podcast. They are in the home right now, just chilling, watching Golden Girls.
There's some farmer right now that plays the podcast over the barn, and there's a cow just looking around like, yo, what? Yeah, fuck these
calm
kids.
Down, girl. They're talking about you. Calm down, girl. They're talking about you.
Fuck them kids.
Another name that's like so hard to live up to as a child, Mavis. Mavis.
I'm not.
Oh, I just imagine someone with Benjamin Button disease, and you're just old as fuck as a child.
My great grandmother's name is Mabel, and I think that's the male version of that.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing. Mavis. Who would name their child?
2 more I have. Both very old man names are Jasper and Elmer.
Jasper.
Like Jasper. Like
I love Jasper.
And
I love the name Jasper so much.
And the reason I say these 2 specifically is because like I know a baby whose name is Francine, and like they can go by Franny or Frankie, and like that's cute for a child, but you can't abbreviate Jasper. And you can't do anything with Elmer. Like, you just are those things now. You can't be Jaspy, the little rapscallion from the Midwest. You're just Jasper, the misnamed young child.
The best way to do it. Jasper the Klansman. I just think of a Klansman. Like, Jasper, shoot him. Shoot him. Get him out. Go get that brother. Just Jasper. I just think of a Klansman straight up, like, but also Herb.
This one's recent. This one's specifically recent.
Is it recent?
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Because now it's an insult. It's like trying to name your kid Karen now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Because you could call somebody a Herb.
Yeah, and see, for like probably the last 10 years, I'm just thinking that's an insult. But then I've heard somebody go, "Oh yeah, my husband Herb," and I'm like, "What?" I forgot. People named their children they picked up this baby and looked at it and said, "I'm gonna name you Herb."
Hey, but I want to give a quick shout out to the piano legend Herbie Hancock. It's a wonderful Grammy Award-winning Herbie Hancock, who has turned that name into a badge of greatness for those babies who are unfortunate enough to also wield that same name.
I guess. But, I mean, I still have issues with that name, very much so. But also, there's a last name I read the other day. I was driving home, and I saw it on a sign. Oglesby. You can help with first names, but last names, that's my least favorite last name.
Yeah, that's fair, but I also feel like it's a great name for a storefront. Like, if you are an Oglesby it's kind of like coming here, like coming to America with the dream of starting a business. Because
I thought you were talking about the Eddie Murphy movie for a second.
no, not that coming to America. No, my point being that like you come to America to make a better life for yourself and have the dream of starting your own business. As an Oglesby, you also have the same duty because your name is Oglesby. Oglesby General Store, Oglesby Auto Parts. It's just a name that sounds
Oglesby crazy. Oglesby crazy.
It's an entrepreneurial name because you can stick it on a storefront and it just goes with whatever's going to be behind it.
I guess, but like, I just don't like the sound of Olg. Like, even the name. Sorry, no disrespect to anybody named Olga out there, but that's a very not appealing sounding name coming out of my mouth.
Yeah,
Olga.
It's a bit brutal on the throat.
Yeah, because it sounds like I'm about to vomit. Oh, like, and I'm not a fan favorite of it, but I mean, more power to you, Olgas out there, and you Oglesby, because Oglesby crazy, Oglesby tripping.
That's you.
That's you. You Oglesby out here. Niggas Oglesby out here.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, so a bit of personal news. I will get into the story of how this all transpired later, but I recently went through the process of trying to donate my old car, and let me tell you, I understand that charities do not have the capacity to come and get my car. Now, I don't need to share any more details on that situation, but my point is that I understand that if you happen to work for a specific foundation, it's not Richard the intern's job to come down to a different place and go get a car and then take it to CarMax and collect the money on y'all's behalf. I get it.
I don't know why, but when you said donating and your car, I just imagined a car in the middle of a Goodwill. With a sticker tag of like $100 today.
Just the sticker tag on it, and it's got one of those rotating showroom things, and you're like why does Goodwill have this? Did somebody donate that too? How much is that going for?
Wait, well, why the fuck is there a car in the middle of Goodwill? This is a nice Goodwill. First of all, if I see a car in the middle of a Goodwill, I'm gonna be like, yo, they got it. Like, this is dope. They're donating cars, my nigga.
You open up the trunk and there's just a note from Dirty Mike and the boys. You're like, I get this now. This now makes sense to me.
Damn, there's shit and jizz stains in the backseat. I got it. Okay.
We'll be back.
The steering wheel's covered in ketchup and also jizz. Oh, damn. They got a real party going on in here.
Excuse me, this was not on my Carfax. This did not. Where's that little fox? He'll explain it to you.
This did not show up. Who had this vehicle before y'all did? I need answers. Because there's.
Let me speak to the previous owner.
I held a black light to the entire interior of this car, and it looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. What is going on here?
So these are just all other guys' jokes now at this point. I will not get away.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, I will not get away with either of us letting that slip by as our own creativity. There are men and women that got paid hard-earned cash to work on that movie.
I thought that's exactly what we were doing.
So I go through this process, and I get this. I understand that nobody is coming down, but it's unbelievable to me that I have a missed call living in Florida from Rhode Island saying, hey, we're coming to pick up your car. Who? I'm sorry. Who are you? And am I in danger? What is happening here? I'm just saying that there needs to be a bit of customer service training between whatever intermediary is coming to pick up assets that are being donated. Because I'm coming to pick up your car is not the way that you introduce yourself as a service that works with the charity to help get it donated.
We're coming to get it. just so cryptic. We're coming to get it.
Click. And then, so I'm talking through this whole thing. And again, I know I spoke on older generations before, and I won't go down the same rabbit hole, but I explained this whole scenario of like, I donated to the charity, but the charity's not going to come pick it up. They have to contact other people, and then those people come and get it. I explained this whole thing to my mom, and she's like, you're going to get your car stolen. And I was like, no, but... No, I was like, no, but it seems so simple. And I'm just like, again, and the only evidence I have for this is because I typed it in online. That's the only evidence I have that this is all going to be okay. Because within...
No, see, officer, I did this legitimately. Like, I Googled it. I Googled it. So that's my proof.
Yeah.
I was donating.
You just holding up your laptop like, look, it says right here. So
IRS has come knocking on the door. Yeah, you fucked up on your taxes.
So I'm dying. I'm already dying at the fact of like, this is the most sketchy thing ever. So I get done with the conversation about like, yeah, you know, we'll come pick it up, blah, blah, blah. So I asked them, hey, do I need to be here for this? Because you're just going to tow it anyway. And she goes, oh yeah, if you don't want to be there, just leave it unlocked and put the keys and the title underneath the seat. And again, I explained this to my mother, and she's like, they'll just own it. You're just never going to have it ever again. And I was like, yeah. I think it's fine. I think it's all fine. So I was like, Mom, I understand. You're feeling a little nervous about this. The residents of this complex need my car out of there because it's got no plate on it. Get it. Completely understand. Let's just get it out of here. If you're feeling so uncomfortable, just grab my title and my keys, and before you leave for work, put them underneath the seat, and they will be able to take it. My mom leaves for work at a certain time that is earlier than the time that they told me they would come get it. And she sees a guy with a tow truck just like staring at my truck. And she's like, okay, well, he's here early, whatever. And then this guy pretty much only speaks Spanish, which is whatever. But again, given all of the information that we have from this situation, this might be the point where we can explain a little bit about what comes next. And what came out of his mouth was title and keys. And that was it. So now, again, I'm being put in a situation where now I have now gotten my mother into a situation where it looks like she's being robbed on her way to work.
I was about to say, you just got robbed so politely.
Title and keys. And so
it doesn't trace back to me.
So incredibly, my mom tells me this story, and she's like, do you think it was the guy? And I inevitably tell her, it would have been some pretty fucking amazing timing if it wasn't. Can you imagine that somebody else just rolls up with the equipment to take a car and then happens to ask you for the document in order to take the car? I think it was probably him. But I get no phone call. And then I was like, again, I feel like I'm getting robbed, or maybe I'm getting robbed, whatever, but I will check up. And I call and immediately tell them my information and then get the wonderful words back. Yeah, we don't have any information on you.
No shit.
So then she's like, hey, let me read me back my phone number. Phone number was none of the digits that I told her. So I don't know what was going on in the background. She retakes my information and then immediately tells me, oh my God, yeah, it's right here. It's actually sitting in our lot right now. And I was very thankful, and it looks like everything's going to be fine. But unbelievable how I'm just trying to do right by from a situation that I will explain in some other podcast about what's going on here. And it just felt like I was having all of my stuff taken. Like, it felt like I was Grandma in Happy Gilmore. You can't take her stuff. She's too old.
She's too old.
And just Will Sasso is in my house grabbing my couch and just taking it out of my apartment.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Like I don't have a spry young whippersnapper to come in here and facilitate the transfer of these two things from one place to another. But I'm pretty sure that there is a more polite way to go about this that doesn't make me feel as if I'm being robbed.
Yeah, like that. If a random nigga came up to me and just approached me by my car and goes, keys and title, immediately I know what's up. I don't need him to pull out any kind of weapons, but I know what's going on. And this is a smart robber because he's not just saying, give me your keys and your wallet. He said keys, title. So you got everything. This car is not stolen. I can report it stolen, but they got everything.
I'm just imagining the call to the insurance agency. Hey, just want to keep everybody in the loop over here. Thank you for the wonderful service. I got robbed. Okay. Oh my gosh, what happened? Did you file a police report? We'll see.
They laughed at me.
We'll see, kind of. So hopefully you can help me out with this. He asked me for the keys and the title. Well, did you say no? Well, it was threatening. Well, did he have a gun? Well,
I didn't see it.
Well, no, but sir, I think you just completed a sale. I'm not positive, but it seems to me as if you had a transaction that didn't go the way that you assumed it did. Did you perhaps put it on Craigslist beforehand? No, that's not.
I was in an outlet mall and someone approached my car very aggressively by asking me for keys and title. And I just gave it to them.
Yeah. So actually, if you want to turn to page 87 and go to paragraph 4-A, it's actually not covered if they ask that question. So it looks like he's got you in a catch-22. Is there anything else I can help you with?
So the best way to resolve this is to accept the fact that you got. Can I help you out with anything else today, sir?
Could I perhaps interest you in getting coverage for being a pussy ass bitch? No. It's if I just ask you for $20, you'll be covered. Because apparently you just give them out like candy, you little bitch.
I'm just gonna Venmo request you and ask for $100, and your ass better send me that money.
And make sure it's in crypto.
Goodbye. Crypto. Okay.
I only take Dogecoin.
Oh shit. Yeah. All right. I think we talked about enough today.
Okay. And everybody just wait for the title of this to be I got robbed ? In all caps.
Absolutely. Clickbait. Oh, WTF? All right, Quinn, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Quinn Tweets. What about you, Welly?
You can find me at Welly Boyce on Twitter and Wellington Boyce on Instagram and TikTok. And you could also find this podcast on youtube.com/ I don't have the backslash yet.
/ a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't said, but if you search us, we are the first thing to come up. So we're very proud of the work that you guys have done in making that happen, all 40 of you. And absolutely. Well, 37, because I think 3 of them were me through an incog. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're very happy with the numbers that we've seen so far. And, I think this is going to be a Thursday night publication / Friday morning. So again, just stick around. And we have all of our channels set now. I think we're good on where this is going to be for the time being. So no more changes, just pure content.
Absolutely. So be back here next week, guys.
All right. Later, y'all.
Bye.